If you watched my last video on the 6 rules to get your car to 300,000 miles, here's a follow-up. These are the 5 parts that fail the most often before 200,000. It's not because cars are junk, it's because these parts are under insane stress, and honestly, a lot of them are basically consumable now. If you know what to look for, you can catch the early signs and save yourself thousands. Let's start with one that surprises people the most: plastic cooling system parts. Modern thermostats aren't just little metal pucks anymore. They're plastic housings with sensors, seals, and multiple hose connections. And after years of heat cycles, that plastic becomes brittle. So here's what commonly fails before 200,000. Thermostat housing, coolant teat, radiator end tanks, water outlet housing, and hose connector. Some common symptoms include slow warm-up, overheating, sweet coolant smell, coolant disappearing without a visible leak. And the crazy part, cooling system failures take out more engines after 150,000 than almost anything else. You can't actually stop plastic from aging. So after 10 to 12 years or around 150,000 miles, it's on borrowed time. But here's what you can do. Change the coolant every 5 years or 60,000 miles to slow internal corrosion. Inspect hoses and plastic connectors every oil change. Replace weak parts proactively around 100 to 150,000. And never ignore a small coolant leak. They just get worse fast. This is one of the biggest engine killers out there. Number 2 is the PCV valve. This is a silent killer in modern engines. The PCV valve used to be a $10 part you could replace in 30 seconds. Now it's molded into a plastic valve cover, or it's not removable without a special tool, and the diaphragm inside slowly fails. When that happens, you get oil consumption, rough idle, lean fuel codes, carbon buildup, and sometimes even a blown rear main seal. You see this all the time on the Volkswagen 2.0 liter turbos, Ford EcoBoost engines, and plenty of Hondas. A lot of cars run into this between 60 and 120,000 miles. So here's a quick driveway test. With the engine running, crack the oil cap. If it's dancing, hissing, or there's a ton of suction, your PCV is probably failing. Check it once a year, and on engines known for issues, replace the whole cover around 100 to 150,000. It's cheap insurance compared to what happens if the pressure goes the wrong way. Number 3 is ignition coils. Modern coils take a beating, way more than they did 20 years ago. You got tighter engine bays, higher heat, and turbocharged engines cooking everything under the hood. Here's some signs that coil's on the way out. Random misfires, a shaky idle, stumbling during acceleration, those P0300 misfire codes. Most coils die between 100 to 160,000. And don't buy the cheapest one. I've seen some misfire right out of the box. If one fails, replace it. But if your car's over 120,000 miles, it's smart to replace the whole bank over the next year. Especially on engines where you have to pull the intake manifold just to get to them. And if you're wondering what coils I trust, OEM, Delphi, Denso, Standard Blue Streak, depending on the vehicle. Number 4, fuel pumps. Fuel pumps are a major failure point before 200,000, especially on direct injection engines. Direct injection systems run on higher pressure. The filter is often part of the tank module. And short trip driving keeps the pump hot, which kills it early. And here's what most people don't know. When the intake pump gets weak, it forces the high pressure pump to work harder. So instead of one pump dying, you end up wearing out both. Here's some early warning signs. Slow starts, surging at steady speed, weak acceleration, long crank times, lower miles per gallon. To prevent early failure, keep your tank above a quarter. Don't run it dry. Change your fuel filter if your car actually has one you can service. Keeping the tank full during storage prevents condensation. And if it's sitting for months, use a fuel stabilizer. And part number 5, alternators. Here's something most people don't realize. A weak battery kills an alternator. And alternators aren't cheap. Depending on your car, they can be as expensive as $1,200 bucks. Modern cars run a ton of electronics, heated everything, power steering pumps, turbo actuators, multiple computers. The alternator is working harder than ever. They usually fail between 120,000 to 180,000 miles because of heat, electrical overloading. Cheap manufactured units can also be a problem. There are just some brands I refuse to sell. And honestly, so many alternator failures I see are on cars with 6, 7, 8-year-old batteries. So signs of a dying alternator? Dim headlights, flickering screens. If your battery's testing weak even after charging, or you get random electrical gremlins. So if you want to make yours last, keep your battery healthy. Replacing every 4 to 5 years is cheaper than an alternator. And clean your battery terminals once a year. Corrosion causes resistance, forcing the alternator to work 10 times harder. If you follow my 6 rules and you keep an eye on these 5 parts, Getting to 300,000 is real. It's just understanding what actually fails in the real world instead of relying on those green check boxes on a dealership inspection sheet. Thanks for watching. I'm Chris from Beachside Auto Parts. If you want more practical car care advice, hit subscribe.